Hello everyone, back to the 8th Christmas 2019 update. So we started the updates on the 1st of November. We're up to update number 8 now. The general trend with these updates so far has been for westerlies around Christmas, but not a particularly warm variety of westerlies. We have had a couple of very mild updates, but overall I think westerlies have been pretty chilly, polar maritime type cold zonality type westerlies rather than sort of long fetch south westerlies from the Azores. That's been the broad trend. The last update, the 7th update, was quite interesting because although it continued with that sort of cold westerly idea for Christmas itself, after Christmas it actually got really cold through early January. During the 7th update, winter was properly unleashed on that one, just a little bit beyond Christmas. We haven't had a very cold Christmas show up yet. We usually get at least one. Will the 8th update be the one? You'll find out in a moment. Before I get on with that though, just to say that's been a busy day as of this with release a 5-day forecast. So, as always on a Wednesday, your detailed 5-day look ahead, and also, of course, the week 10-day video update was released today as well. That includes all of the regular features. Gav Shop is open, so go into a shop to do at Amazon between now and Christmas. Let's just move this over a little bit. There we go. So if you're able to shop to do at Amazon between now and Christmas, then all you need to do is go to the Gav Shop page. You'll see snowflakes fluttering down the screen. If you want to do Christmas shopping at Amazon, it's very easy. You either just click through the Amazon banners within Gav Shop to take you from Gav Service to Amazon, where you do Christmas shopping as usual. Alternatively, you can use the Amazon search widget on the Christmas shop page and search out any items that you want to buy, and then you'll go to Amazon to pay for those items. So you're not doing anything differently. You're still buying your presents through Amazon, and that's where you'll make your purchase. That's where you'll do your payment. It's just purely the fact that you've gone from Gav Service to Amazon that means we get a revenue fee on the Christmas presents that you are buying. Big thank you to everybody for getting involved with Chris Shop again this year. And it's still got plenty of time, of course, to get Christmas presents from Amazon. But, that's how you do it. If you've got a Christmas shop to do at Amazon, please do it through Gavs, whether it's... Right, so let's crack on. And, of course, we're at meteoseal.fr. We're using the CFSV2 9-monthly forecast. Midday run. It's run 4 times a day. We always use a midday run for no particular reason other than that's when we choose. It shouldn't make any difference which of the 4 you use to the overall outcomes. But if you use the same run all the time, then it's easier to make a comparison back to the previous updates, if you see what I mean. So, and we can't be told off for cherry picking any particular outcome. It's purely the way that the charts are coming out as we are doing the videos. So we're looking for trends within the model. We can't pinpoint whether down to the exact day of Christmas, of course. But we're looking for the trend for sort of mid to late December to early to mid-January, that kind of time frame. And if we see the same sort of scenario cropping up update after update, then we'll be able to say that we do indeed have a trend. This was generated midday yesterday, 19th of November. There's always a 24-hour delay on these charts appearing. Excuse me. Right, so let's start off on the 4th of December. And we're under a ridge of high pressure. We've actually got an area of high pressure centred across Central Europe. It's extending a ridge into the UK with low pressure out in the Atlantic. We're bringing up a gentle southerly southeast wind. Looks mild. Could be rather on the chilly side, actually, that. Particularly if skies are clear, there could be frost and fog. As we run through to the 6th of December, we see the Atlantic begins to have a go at breaking that ridge down. However, not all that successful. By the 8th of December, we've got high pressure sitting over England and Wales and much of Central Europe. Low pressure is out to the north and the west. We're bringing up quite a mild southwesterly wind there, particularly for northern and western parts of the country. That would be very mild, and to the east of high ground, sort of scenario that could lift temperature in eastern Scotland, for example, up to around sort of 12, 13, 14 degrees. Whereas southeast England, of course, under this ridge, could actually be a little bit colder there, especially if skies are clear and we get frost and fog developing. Now, as we run to the 10th of December, that ridge collapses and low pressure heads in from off the Atlantic. So on the 10th of December, we're turning more unsettled with outbreaks of rain moving in from the west. And then we go to the 11th when a ridge starts to build down to southwest. So far, nothing particularly dramatic going on. Heading up to the 12th of December, the day of the general election, of course, this time we're looking mild and probably cloudy and damp. We've got high pressure centred over France. We've got low pressure well away from us. So it's one of those nondescript sort of December days, that for the general election. Certainly won't be any problems with voting there. It'll be mainly dry, probably very cloudy and maybe a little bit damp, and temperatures will be mild into double digits, I would have thought, through most parts of the country. So again, nothing particularly to be concerned about in terms of voting with that. Now, as we move up to the middle of December, we look for something a little bit more interesting to happen, perhaps, and have a go at pulling down a northwesterly wind. However, that doesn't really come to much. The ridge is the dominating factor here up to the middle part of December, staying mainly dry and quite mild. Right, so we're up to 16th of December and we're turning more unsettled now. This ridge is beginning to slip down towards Spain and Portugal. Low pressure is deepening around Iceland and Greenland, and we are strengthening the westerly. So gale force winds are appearing here on the 16th of December. And it's probably turning quite wet as well. Wet and windy weather sweeping across the country, followed by colder air and probably wintry showers up towards Scotland. That takes us to the 18th of December, going rather cold and showery, particularly for northern and western parts of the country. England and Wales still very close to that ridge of high pressure and mainly mild there. Let's even get a bit closer to Christmas. So we're up to 21st of December, looking increasingly unsettled. And then 22nd of December, quite a deep area of low pressure developing out to our west. Quite cold again with those westerlies. So this is another update that's bringing in relatively cold westerlies with areas of low pressure running up towards Christmas. Low pressure is diving southwards as we get towards the eve of Christmas Eve, so it's starting to pull in some colder air to Scotland. Showers would turn wintry there across Scotland and Northern Ireland, with winds coming in from the northeast. Still relatively mild for England and Wales with outbreaks of rain. Right, so let's see what Christmas Eve is showing. That low pressure clears away into France and we put in quite a cold north to northeasterly wind. So that is a cold Christmas Eve actually. There we will bring wintry showers across many parts of the country, snow showers in the north and in the northeast, and probably frosty by night as well. So that's a proper chilly, quite cold New Year's Eve that we've got there with those northeasterlies. Christmas Eve, I should say. This is Christmas Day, so the high pressure event is extending in across the country. The air is still quite cold, so that's a pretty cold Christmas Day, mainly dry, although there could be a little bit of snow on the ground from that northeasterly that we have on Christmas Eve, particularly in the northeast. The main thing with that is that it's a pretty cold Christmas Day, mostly dry, under a slight little bump of high pressure. You would expect frost early and late on Christmas Day with that. So at least it's a seasonable sort of feeling Christmas Day. Into Christmas night and then Boxing Day, low pressure is breaking back in from off the Atlantic. So that little cold snap, but it's timed just nicely. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day doesn't last very long. Low pressure is back in, bringing outbreaks of rain. Possibly that will be preceded by snow as it hits the cold air in the north. But then we're back into the westerlies again, turning milder, wetter and windier through the course of Boxing Day. Heading on into the sort of Christmas to New Year period, this is how we're looking. Quite unsettled. Winds are in from the west, so further bouts of wet and windy weather, particularly to northern and western parts of the country. That ridges back, though, to our south across France, so that does mean we're dragging up milder air from the southwest again. So this is a milder sort of Christmas to New Year period. Rather wet and windy in the north and west. Probably not too much rain in the southeast. That's how we look on New Year's Eve. So turning wet and windy there across most parts of the country. Could be gale force winds. That will be a lively old New Year's Eve. This is New Year's Day, the first day of 2020. Again, looking quite wet and windy until that wind and rain is pushed away by those colder westerly winds, probably bringing wintry showers to northern and western parts of the country. I'll just run you through the first week or two of January. It doesn't look like we're going to pull in any cold easterlies on this 8th update, so we just continue with these areas of low pressure barreling in from off the Atlantic, bringing bouts of wet and windy weather and probably gales at times through the first week of January. Relatively cold up in the north, fairly mild though, with those southwesterlies down in the south. High pressure having a go at building there through the middle part of January, but not getting itself to the north, so generally quite mild with that ridge up to the 18th of January. We're looking dry and relatively mild. Under that ridge, of course, there could be frost and fog, but certainly no sort of Arctic or Siberian winds on offer there. And I won't go any further than the 18th of January. So we haven't maintained that cold sort of early January period that we saw within the 7th update. We do still have this idea of cold westerlies around Christmas, though. I think that is a trend at the moment within the CFS-V2 to have relatively cold westerlies around Christmas period, which could deliver wintriness in the north, less so in the south, but certainly northern areas, Scotland could do quite well from cold westerlies, and pretty good news for the ski resorts. This is a very westerly update, as I'm sure you've gathered from beginning to end. Really, we're driving everything in from off the Atlantic. There's no high latitude blocking anywhere towards Greenland or Scandinavia or Iceland on this particular update. So this is a milder, but also, again, quite westerly and unsettled update. And there is that little cold snap around Christmas Day. Right, that's it for the 8th Christmas update. We'll be back with the 9th update. Well, of course, there's going to be updates before that. We'll have the 9th update for you on Friday evening. That's when the next instalment is going to be. Right, well, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.